listen. Now, tonight's guest is a comedian who stands apart from the rest in the tradition of those who have successfully made the transition from stage to screen. He's cut his teeth working with the toughest stand-up comedy shops in the country, from Showtime at the Apollo to Def Comedy Jam, and he was an original member of the Kings of Comedy. He's written on some of the biggest sitcoms like Martin and Moesha, and the St. Louis native has earned his seat at the table. Tonight, we're talking to the multi-talented and super funny and cool Guy Torry. Now, before we get started, I want to invite everyone to connect with us by tweeting us at Fox Soul TV or call us at 866-FOX-SOUL. That's 866-367-7685 because we're live and we so love to hear from you. Please welcome to the stage my good friend, Guy Torry. I will get up my dress, I'm so tight. What's up, Guy?
What up? What up, Guy?
Listen, good to see you.
You went from the foxhole to the Fox Soul.
I did. I got right, it's an upgrade there, right? I would get up and hug you, but since I've seen you last, I moved to Texas. I gained 20 pounds.
Oh yeah, that's
and
Texas.
I'm about to faint right now. Like seriously, I'm struggling. But we used to do a podcast once a week. Was it once a week?
We go back further than that, though.
Right, we did that. That's the last thing we did together. But we met when we were both pretty new here in LA.
Yeah, pretty new in LA. I was on a sitcom called Good News.
Good News. I did
on another network, a competing network, and she was.
I was
on
background,
the show. Yeah,
background.
well, she was a background artist.
I was an upgraded extra.
Right.
So what that entails is pretending to talk like we had to do like this.
Right. Yeah.
That's a lot of us did.
She got a lot of shots though.
I did, but it's so good to see you, and it's been a long time.
Congratulations, though. This is nice.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a good situation.
The podcast we did together was fun. It was fun. It was called Unstable, and we were pretty unstable as a crew.
But you know, it was four real friends coming together.
Right.
And in it was kind of like reality radio in a way. Because,
it was, yeah.
We had our ups and downs, and we were very honest about like fights we'd have or disagreements, and I think the people felt it because it wasn't fake.
It was real, because my nickname is Fallout Guy, because I fall out with
everybody. Now, why do you? Yeah, explain that, Guy.
Because you know what? It's this business. It's Hollywood. It's great, but there's some people who I keep it 100, and I don't. And if I beef with you, I'm gonna say I got beef with you, and some people in this town can't take that. So, I have, even with family, I fell out with family. I fell out with my mama.
Oh, your mama too.
She stole my do-rag. It's like wig cap, but it was she told me I thought it was mine. I'm like, no, you don't have Under Armour do-rags, Mom.
Your mom too, damn.
My mom, she had that cap, the wig cap,
Oh my God, Guy.
Sorry, Mom.
I remember when we did the podcast, it was a joke at first that you would fall out with people, but then when guests would come through, you'd be like, I only had a couple fights, and then every guest was like, I had a fight with Guy Torry too. Who'd you kick in the head? Was it Buddy Lewis?
It was Buddy Lewis I kicked in the head, a comedian, writer, brilliant writer.
Can you tell that story? Because I think they'd want to hear it.
We was doing Def Comedy Jam in New York, and we were both writers at the time, and I was also performing, and he was being a diva, and I'm not down with the diva stuff, because they sent us back to the airport in a van.
So you went there in a limo and you had to go back in a van.
Right, and I wasn't tripping. I was like, I did warm up, I wrote, and I performed. I wasn't tripping. All he did was write. And he was crying about, oh man, in his van. And so he was talking noise, so I kicked him in the head.
But wait, didn't you throw his luggage in the middle of the street first?
Well, yeah, because we were fighting, and the bellman broke us up, right?
Guy.
Yeah, he broke us up, so he left his bags out on the curb, and he went inside and wouldn't let me in, so I kicked his bag. I had to kick something, and then he had a man purse, back then. It's way back then, too, before man purses were like designer now. So I took that and threw it in the middle of Broadway in New York. Yeah,
What other celebrity beefs have you had? Let's get into your beefs first. Who else you had fight
everybody.
With?
Me and Claudia fell out. Me and a couple other hosts fell out. We didn't fight. No, I don't hit women.
But we didn't even really
Unless
argue.
Unless it's doggy style. That's the only time I hit women. But other than that.
But we never even had to argue. We didn't argue.
No.
It was just weird because we did it, But I do appreciate those days because unlike a lot of stuff in Hollywood, a lot of times you never really say what you feel to someone.
Right.
And because we're all friends, we were able to, even in that, feel comfortable with, hey man, I'm not happy with this right now, and have our fights, and then sometimes we had to come back and do the show.
Right, and I'm a comedian, so we can dish it, but we can't take it. So it's just honest. We're very sensitive creatures, and we can talk all day about you, but you bring it back to us, we gonna snap.
I'm glad you admit that, though.
Oh yeah, I'm honest.
But that's one thing about, I think, if people go into like dating a comedian.
Yeah. Oh man.
You
good
probably
luck.
wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm tripolar already. I got 3 persons. It's me, myself, and Guy. So You don't know who you gonna get. Yeah, I was married. She didn't know we gonna, fuss, have freaky or pray. She didn't know.
Oh, you can cuss here, by the way, if you want.
Fuck, fight, or pray.
There we go.
All right.
There's a guy I know. Now, speaking of married, you were married for a little while.
Yeah.
Would you get married again?
Oh yeah, I would. I used to say I wouldn't, but now with everything out there, with the people giving each other, I will get married.
There's billboards for syphilis on Santa Monica Boulevard.
I saw that billboard.
Yeah,
it's like,
she's
man.
pregnant.
Yeah. Ugh.
That'll make you kind of straighten
Al
up.
Capone died of syphilis. He was the biggest gangster in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
Get that shot.
Yeah. No, this is back in the early days.
And I've tried to link you with a couple of my friends that I think they'd make a good
I took
wife.
a couple of friends down. You ain't got I'm real. I'm private with my love life, but I took it. Yeah, I took
So now now that you're open to it again, should I start making those calls again? I would like to see you married.
I'm good.
Why?
I keep it private. I keep my private life.
I'm not gonna put it out there on like Instagram.
Yes,
but
you
I'm
will,
saying,
Claudia.
No,
You put everything out there, Claudia.
Not your business.
Claudia,
I'd put your business out there. No.
You insinuate sometimes though when we do interviews. You'll throw little Blues Clues.
Only the people. Yes. Only the people involved will know. Though.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Fun for us.
I've been sweating like I don't know, Mike Tyson reading Shakespeare, man.
Oh yeah. Can he read?
Mike can't read.
Yeah, he can't read. Okay. So what do you?
He can't beat me up now. He's too old. Fat.
Yeah. It's funny because remember when Suge was like the big bad wolf? Everybody be afraid.
Suge Knight.
But once he got hit by what's his name? Greg Smith, I think his name was, the barber that knocked him out.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Like the legend, kind of people weren't as afraid of him anymore.
I met Suge through Tupac at a comedy show. I didn't know who he was, and so me and Suge been like cool ever since because I was talking about him, not knowing he was Suge Knight.
Yeah.
And he just thought I was, ballsy, like he got balls. I just didn't know who he was. And I hope he don't see this, because now he gonna know that. But yeah, so I never had any issues with Suge.
Me neither, except the one time he almost shut the bowling alley down. He came in there with some guns. But other than that, he was...
Well, other than that, that little minor thing.
I've had conversation with him and he was nicer than I thought.
Yeah.
If he rocks with you. If he rocks with you.
Yeah, exactly.
If he's not hanging you upside down by your feet outside of a building.
Exactly.
We good.
Yeah, I saw the movie.
So, one of the original kings of comedy. Talk about that experience.
That experience was great because I was a young comic doing comedy about 5 years. I had the hottest night in the country called Fat Tuesdays at the Comedy Store. And Walter Latham, who created it, needed a host. And he paired me with Bernie Mac, Cedric, the Entertainer, and Steve Harvey. And I was more like the prince of the Kings of Comedy Tour, because those guys were, already on the way to legendary status. And it was just quite an experience, man, because when I started, I was a comic. When I finished, I wanted to be a comedian.
So tell people what the difference is.
A comic says funny things, a comedian makes things funny.
So the average, just things in life.
Yeah, well, just opening up and being vulnerable. Like I had jokes, but I didn't have an act. And those guys have act, and we did 52 shows, and night after night, I would see those guys go on stage and destroy in front of 10, 15, 20,000 people. And I was like, man, I gotta get like that. So I left the tour voluntarily and went into the clubs and started just working on an act.
Grinding.
And, it made me who I am today as having an act and not just somebody up there telling jokes. Now I'm in a phase of reintroducing myself as far as opening up, because now I'm really opening up and letting people inside, because that's what real comedians do. They're vulnerable, and they let you inside the life. When you go to a comedy show, you want a person to leave with a piece of you. You can go and laugh and just be a comic, but if they take a piece of you home with them, then bam, that's when they stick with you and they rock with you. And they want to know your story. They want to know why you're saying the things you're saying, your point of view, where you come from, why are you this way. So that's where I am right now.
Can you ever go too far as giving personal information? Do you think you can mess yourself up by doing that as a comedian?
I don't know. I haven't yet, but no, I don't think you can. Look, Richard Pryor, one of the greatest of all time, was really exposing himself. I mean, he did a joke one time that was an epiphany to me about not being afraid to say anything. It was one joke he was saying how this girl was so fine, I suck her daddy's dick.
And then Biggie said that.
And I was like, damn, he went there?
That's vulnerable.
I may look at her daddy's dick, but I ain't about to get stuck. Oh, okay, that's where she came from.
Right.
But see, when Richard said that, I was like, wow, that's really being transparent and open. I didn't know back then he actually did suck a dick. But,
right. Ain't that crazy?
Because he said it in his book. I read his book later, and he mentioned that. So you got to be willing to go there.
Got it. Okay. I saw a comedian one time that I felt like he went too far, and it made the audience so uncomfortable, right? So
you still got to be funny in the process, though. That's the thing.
This guy just got out of a fire. Like he was like injured, still had bandages on his hand, lost.
That's kind of funny, right? I'm sorry. I'm on fire, y'all. Yeah, you are.
He lost fingers, and he was fresh. Like you could still smell the mesquite.
Smell like backwood.
And he was like making fun of it, and people weren't really ready to like.
Right.
It was like.
Was he all like, you know,
he had a little bit of the melty, candle wax face a little bit.
Really?
But mostly the hand.
Look like Jerry Jones, the Cowboys owner?
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
Have you ever felt like you've gone too far with audiences where, you know?
But you know what, here's the thing. I liked it too far. I like when they groan. Ooh, I kind of like that. A lot of comedians like that groan, like, oh, yeah, we went too far. Because we're dark, twisted, messed up individuals on the inside anyway.
Yeah.
That's why we do comedy. Because we do comedy to bring light to our dark situations on the inside.
You got to be dark to want to go in front of a crowd of people that you don't know if there's anybody that's like.
Well, not really dark, but a narcissist. We're also narcissists.
A narcissist, right?
A little bit of touch of narcissism.
A little bit, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not much, not, you know, Trumpish, but we got some narcissism in it.
For someone who's never gone to a Guy Torry show, how would you describe, like, what's your comedy style?
Unfiltered, uncut, unplugged, and unbelievable. It's an experience. It really is. It's one of the best comedy shows out there. And if you don't believe me, just come to my show and see. But I talk about everybody. I leave no stones unturned. And I go in red states and do my Trump material up front, just so you can see. I'm not your typical comedian that's gonna come on stage and try to win you over. I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna try to lose you, see if I can get you back. That's the mind fuck for me. That's the game that I like to play to make my set interesting and fun to me. Because to me, it's like sex. They're gonna get theirs, but I get mine too. I've gotten standing ovations before and hated my set because I didn't have fun. And I felt like I cheated them, even though they enjoyed it. But I'm like, man, I know I'm better than what I just did. But you got to be that way, because too many comedians get chuckles like, oh, I ripped, I destroyed, I killed.
Right.
I never use those words. It's like, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to make them laugh. So why are you patting yourself on the back?
Right, exactly. So take us back to your roots, St. Louis.
St. Louis, yeah.
And what were you doing before you got into comedy?
I had raggedy teeth. That's why you said cut my teeth in the open. I was like, I really did cut my teeth.
You did. You like that shade in there?
Yeah. Oh, they were fucked up, y'all.
But
I worked at WIC office. I worked for WIC.
The WIC office, so you probably got a lot of material there.
Oh, yeah, man. WIC office, WIC is, those who don't know, women, infants, and children, government program designed to help moms who are, you know, expecting. You know, they have to qualify medically and financially. And we give prenatal counseling, and we give 31 candle formula a month, Similac, Enfamil, or if your baby is lactose intolerant, Prosoria Isomil, sweet acidophilus. It was a whole speech I had to give of that. So yeah, so I was a WIC technician and giving baby formula and prenatal counseling.
Wow.
Yeah. It was crazy too, because you know, some of the women would be embarrassed that they were on the program, right? And I'd be in a store, like I had another job too, I worked a lot of jobs. I worked in a department store, and some of the clients would come in. And then the mom would be like, Mom, there's the WIC man. Like, shut up, shut up, shut up. Shut up, shut your mouth. Or sometimes I'd be in a club, a nightclub, and the women would be in there dancing like, hey, I missed my WIC appointment. My baby needs some Merc. It's St. Louis. I said Merc instead of milk.
Merc?
Yeah, Merc. And my baby ain't got no Merc. Merc, what is Merc? Can I make an appointment? And like, I'm at
in the club, man.
In the club.
Bitch, I'm trying to drink.
Yeah, I'm trying to, yeah. But you know, I was trying to get them to breastfeed me at that point.
Did you ever you ever get with any of the ladies in there?
I never got with a WIC client. Never got with a WIC client. Not that there was anything wrong. It's just like I don't believe in sleeping where I eat.
Right.
I just always had that philosophy.
Wow.
You know, because I didn't want her being comfortable coming anytime. Boom, boom. I'm like, yo, you missed your appointment, can't get anything. Well, you didn't say that last night, so.
Right.
You know what y'all are. You know what y'all are.
So, being from St. Louis, that's where, I mean, comedy geniuses, Red Fox and Cedric
Dick Gregory, Cedric, my brother Joe. I mean, a lot of comedians.
How they influenced you in your career?
Well, Def Comedy Jam is what inspired me. Watching Martin Lawrence and Bernie Mac and that whole first season. And that's what inspired me to do stand-up. That was the key to start the engine for me. And I moved to LA. I kind of wanted to do it, but I really didn't. I wanted to go back to school, and then I jumped on stage, and the rest is history. But I learned so much from those guys. From, you know, Joe helped me out when I first got out here. My brother Joe let me stay with him for free for 4 years. Eddie Griffin, I mean, from Kansas City, used to always give me advice. Martin, when I worked on the Martin show as a PA, Martin used to always give me advice, and Chris Rock and Cedric was always, I used to watch Cedric before I even did stand up, and then on that Kings of Comedy tour, he and Bernie, And Steve just mentored me. It was great.
Wow. Now, speaking of your brother,
Yeah.
it's no secret y'all have a tumultuous relationship.
Yeah, beef, yeah.
Y'all beef.
Families fight. Families fight, yeah.
Y'all fight a lot, right?
We don't fight a lot because he whooped my ass, so we argue a lot. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, you know, he'd be way bigger than me. So, it's not the relationship I would love to have, but it is what it is.
But he inspired you to get into comedy?
Absolutely. And was a big influence and helped me out a lot. You know, when you move to LA and you got broke pockets and someone lets you, lets you move in with them and they're not, hounding you for rent and money, I mean, that's a big weight off your shoulders.
4 years out of that'll help you so much.
Yeah.
You don't have to just take anything. You can kind of like really do what you want to do.
But when I got my first big check, I broke them off. I said, hey man, this is probably what I would have paid.
Really?
Here you go. Oh, absolutely. Because I ain't a kept man like so many men in LA.
Oh yes.
A kept men.
We know about that.
They'll latch on to somebody big and then be their little boy.
So the little entourage dudes.
Entourage. I don't do entourage.
You know when you see a shark in on National Geographic, they have those little pilot fish that just hover around them and just eat off their little scraps.
Right. And there's a difference between an entourage and your crew. I have a crew.
Yes.
Not an entourage.
Well, those are your friends. You don't need them for to eat, and then you have
none of them on my payroll.
Right.
Exactly. Once you put somebody on your payroll, then most of the time they come a yes man, and then they're gonna tell you the truth. I want people to tell me the truth. I may not be able to take it, but still tell me when I'm fucking up.
Was it like with your brother? Was it like a friendly competition with each other?
I don't believe in competition. I don't believe in competition with anybody because what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours. I used to go on auditions and call my brother, hey, yo, I just went in on this audition, man. You be good for this part too. Tell your agent about it. Or I'll call other comedians. Yo, I just went in on this. You go in, hey, it's a friendly room. They let you go off script. I mean, because I just don't believe in, what God has put my name on, it's going to be mine anyway.
More people need to do that.
Yeah. I ain't worried about that.